So thank you, organizers. Amazing from colleagues' talk. I learned a lot. They talk something big. I just talk very quickly something daily. So every day we use Google. Do we should pay? Not necessarily. Every day we use WhatsApp to call, video, voice. No, we do not need to pay. But you can see in Trump's ceremony, there are quite a few like big giant high-tech CEO bosses. They are billionaires. How come? And so the former CEO, Eric, of the Google, he once said, we know who you are, we know where you are, we know what you're trying to do. And with the data, even people can use emotion like recognition. So everybody here, do you want somebody else to read your mind? No, of course not. And you will go to airport. So when people said, okay, we can use like a fingerprint or like your facial recognition, so do you oppose? Do you reject? No, we think it's normal. But there are a lot of issues like big data and bring a lot of benefits, but we have a lot of things to pay. So when they collect our data, so when they process our data, harvest data, have they got our consent? So a lot of issues we try to say, and I got around 7 minutes allocated time, so I try to go quicker. And why do we intervene? So SDG 16 said, so let's build capacity to combat crime. So data, they can help us. So AFR means automated facial recognition. So they got a risk. As I said, they bring about a huge benefit for us, but they also risk some privacy infringement. There's a huge challenge for us to deal with the, for instance, privacy violation issues and security, safety issues. So the privacy is the basis of our liberal democracy. It's cornerstone for everybody here enjoy the human rights, fundamental rights. So the international laws said we need to protect privacy. Nevertheless, there's a missing link in AI, artificial intelligence enabled transformation. So we are in the, so to more extent we can say surveillance capitalism. So if we go to the street, if we go to somewhere else, we can find a lot of cameras there. So that's why I said there's a missing link. What's the missing link? Privacy, on the one hand, bring about benefit. On the other hand, the risks in violating our privacy, security has not been addressed. So that's why I just quote, data governance represents the missing fifth pillar of the global economic order. So let's see about the past justice. Supreme Court of the United States. Once she said, we don't want to be in the Orwellian life. No. And another UK, like Professor Paul Weiss, he once said, technology is being rolled out in a chaotic fashion in the absence of clear laws. So we got a huge potential with huge but challenges ahead. So let's see, as I said, we can say surveillance capitalism, also we can say internet capitalism. This is like a fourth industrial revolution. So let's see the pink color. So you can see this is like a so-called digital operating model. At the very beginning, maybe lower, but quickly, just increase it quickly. Facial recognition. Policing tool of the 21st century. So I think this is like a technical issue, how they use the data to recognize like through the we can say camera. So as I just mentioned, data is new oil in the 21st century. Nothing less than lifeblood of global capitalism. And as I just mentioned, we know who you are. We don't want anybody else to read our mind. But there's a lot of issues, data protection, data justice, data security, data sovereignty issues. So let's see about AI surveillance technology origin. Like the technology from China, red color from the United States. So you can see this is globally. Also, we can see China is very aggressive exporting surveillance technology. People talking about human rights, like liberty and also rule of law issues. Let me share with you the WeChat. WeChat equivalent to WhatsApp every day we use. So in China, for instance, like my experience, when I went to the street, I went to the campus university, I cannot use like cash. People do not like. So they said, let's use Smile to Pay. So people are happy with that. And also we got some survey. Sometimes you can see how much percentage of people, they are so happy. And, but from law perspective, we are really concerned. So we can use data to help us. Everybody knows the disaster a few years ago, like a pandemic. Many countries try to deal with how can we identify, locate those people. So in China, they use a smarter way. For instance, they use like traffic light style. If you, for instance, they use like, we can say mobile phone, they said if it's red color, stay where you are. If it's a yellow color, let's see. If the green color, so you can freely move. That sounds smart, that's good. They can identify people, they can locate people, but from law perspective, we're worried. What's the worries, concerns? We can say data always persistent. Data, we should have a sunset clause. What does sunset clause mean? Sunset clause means, for instance, the pandemic issue. If we finish, if the pandemic is over, we have to stop using such stuff to locate people, to find people, to identify people. So let's see about the most surveillance cities in the world. 8 cities from China, but you may be surprised. 1 city from where we are here, London. Another one, Atlanta. So London is one of the world's most monitored cities. So another very interesting survey I would like to share with you. This is in China. We pick up around dozens of thousands of people. We try to ask them, on the one hand, is security, convenience. On the other hand, is privacy. So how about your opinion? How about your attitude? Over 83% of people said, we would like to surrender for, like convenience, security, safety, privacy. Only around less than around 16% said, yes, privacy is so important. So beyond this, public attitude to facial recognition technology, so we can see the percentage. How about the percentage of people said, we are happy with the police. They can use, for instance, like AFR. And how about 4%? If you go to supermarket, if you get like interview, people want to use automatic facial recognition, are you happy with that? 4%. So another percentage is 80 to 60%. On the one hand, in public rules, for instance, we will go to the airport, also like for public security, okay. And 83% American want tougher regulation, of course, here in the UK. And this is a percentage, which means we really like the tougher law regulation to deal with, to protect our privacy. And also, like we can categorize further categorization. So we can say like regarding your race, regarding your age, regarding your So another quick question we can say about the law. We may not necessarily have a lot of time. For instance, we always said privacy. What's reasonable privacy? If something like a child-related sex crime, of course, there's no reasonable privacy. So let's see another like a bigger case. Facebook, they were fined about $5 billion. And this is another case in Cardiff. And when police tried to use automatic facial recognition, and police was brought to the court. Afterwards, after the second session, they said like privacy could be violated. And another case, so how to address this fifth, we can say link. We can say like Google, if you notice the Google like just quietly change their motto. We can say, don't be evil to do the right thing. European Union, and they got a lot of laws. We do not necessarily have time to discuss articles and so on. US, they got laws, but there's no so-called like, we can say federal level laws to deal with the issue. That's why TikTok now in crisis, in the problem. Some of you maybe know the TikTok, like a debacle. So I just try to conclude before my conclusion, some inquiries. Will facial recognition make us safer or represents a new kind of unsafe? How much do you trust law enforcement and private companies that can do the right thing to help protect our privacy? who gets the privilege? And isn't it worth sacrificing our privacy and civil liberties if AFR helps to catch criminals? Should authorities cease trials of facial recognition until a very established legal framework in place? Last question. What about questions of legal liability in cases where algorithms cause harm? Now, especially about TikTok issue. So I think it's my conclusion, and we need to recognize the benefits on the one hand, but also we need to understand the risks around us. AFR requires a robust governance structure, and I highlighted here. When they try to use AFR, they need to follow the principle: necessity, proportionality, and reasonableness. And so very last one, and this very interesting New Yorker in 1993. So they said, at that time, and so we know each other, maybe daily life, but on the internet, nobody knows you are a dog. So thank you so much for your attention, probably time.
Thank you very much for posing some really interesting questions for us. I think we've got time for one question, as we are running a little late.
This is really interesting. Thank you so much for this presentation. I'm just curious about the issue of bias, because I know that facial recognition software technology has proved to be biased towards people of color or with a certain skill color. So I wonder whether it's just issue of privacy versus benefits, or there are bigger issues such as algorithmic bias here. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think this is a really issue. So when we go to the algorithm, if I pronounce correctly, and also if I have lots of cases to share with you, maybe not the time. And in London, for instance, like exactly as you said, and they stop people checking, for instance, like maybe suspicious behavior and so on. And there's a survey. Actually, definitely, I have some data. For instance, like if a lady, white, in her 70s or 80s, and another one in different color, maybe, like maybe 20s or 30s. So we can see from common sense or from the algorithm or from the data process, how about the percentage that could be stopped? And you are definitely right. That's why there's, like a new project on the way, and from April, I will do 10 months in this area. But a very good question. This is a huge potential for us to strike balance. On the one hand, we just benefit from data processing, data cost, and on the other hand, how we can protect like equity, fair, and inclusive, and equality, and some actual rights for us, including privacy. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, let's thank our speaker again.